whatever it is that I'm working on, I try to become an expert in the matter. But I also think back then it really helped because it wasn't just me. I had great mentors, first of all, powerful women from this community.
Welcome to Forward, presented by Story North. On this show, we document architects, the builders, and the visionaries who are shaping the future of northeastern Minnesota. I'm your host, Kevin Jacobson. My guest today is operating at the intersection of systemic failure and human resilience. She isn't just providing housing, she's building the infrastructure for stability that allows a generation to finally take a breath. She is the founder of Duluth-based Divine Connections. Deanna Kirk, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You describe your life, Deanna, as moving from harm to healing. So take us back to the beginning. What was the specific moment you decided to stop surviving the harm and start designing the healing?
I think for so many years, especially as a teenager and as a young mom, I feel like I used to say I was kind of thriving on anger. I was just angry all the time, but that actually drove me to try to prove people wrong. And I think that I would say it was probably in my 30s when I just realized that I really need to focus on my healing because I was tired of being angry all the time. And so I would say that's when I realized that that was where the true peace was, and that it was just important for me to heal some stuff that I had just been blocking out for years.
When you realized that a relief? Was that a oh man, I have a lot of work to do? What was that like for you?
Mm. It's probably more of I have a lot of work to do, you know, because really when you start thinking about it, you don't even realize that, oh, there's something going on with that, or there's something right there. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So you spent decades as really the only black woman developer in the room. You were building inside a system that wasn't designed for you. So what did that friction teach you about how power actually works?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think that it made me realize that I had to take up space. It made me realize immediately that I had to work harder. I feel like, um, and that it made me feel like I almost couldn't even make a mistake. Because because of my age, I was very young. So I was not only like the only brown woman in the room, only of a few women. I was the only black woman in the room, and then I was young. I think I started doing housing development in my late 20s, and so that really yeah, I always just felt like I had to do more, like I had something to prove that I deserved to be in the room, you know? And I think once people got to know me, um, they it was no problem. But I think it's just usually just the initial, like, who does she think she is? Like, why is she here? Yeah.
How did you overcome that? How did you work to build those relationships?
I think I try to become an expert in the matter. Like whatever it is that I'm working on, I try to become an expert in the matter. But I also think back then it really helped because it wasn't just me. I had great mentors, first of all, powerful women from this community. So that was number one. They were always feeding into me, pouring into me. And then during that time, I was also working with Zola Bo. And so us doing it together really helped because then I wasn't alone.
Mm.
Because she was also young. She was a white woman, but she was young, and we were partners, and we were really, we made a really good team. So I think that helped. So I think it was the mentorship, the people that was teaching me how to do the development really helped, and not doing it alone. Because sometimes you'll think like, I remember leaving some meetings and be like, didn't I say that? And no one acknowledged it, and then the white
Mm.
man next to me said it, and all of a sudden it was a great idea in the whole conversations, and she would be like, yeah, that's exactly what just happened. And sometimes we would call it out in the meeting after a while. So that really
Got it.
helped.
Yeah, absolutely. In looking at some of the work you've done, you use words like curse breaking alongside affordable housing, not typical, standard boardroom language. So, how does your faith practically shape the hard business decisions you have to make?
It does. I wouldn't be who I am without my faith. I think I would have, if I didn't have my faith, I would have gave up a long time ago. And so, I really consider it in everything I do. And when I decide what I'm going to do, when it comes to the decisions that I make, when it comes to how I treat people, it's all based off my faith. And so I think that that's a big part of it is that I have this, especially now with my relationship with Christ, there's a confidence that I have that I can do all things through Christ to give me strength. And so, I can speak the word over myself and it gives me confidence. But I didn't have that. I wasn't that secure in my relationship when I started. But definitely now I'm a completely different person. And I believe in breaking generational curses, of example, poverty of my family who had been impoverished for generations, teen pregnancy, had went on in my family for generations, and so I believe in breaking some of those curses off my family.
And that pass is what a lot of what you're doing with your work currently.
Yes. Hmm.
And you're dealing with heavy trauma, housing instability, and running a business, and that takes a toll in itself. So how do you protect your own peace so you can lead without burning out?
I'm not going to say it's easy, and I'm not going to say I always get it right. Especially right now, we're in a growing stage because we've opened a child care facility. I didn't plan on opening a child care facility. This is whole new ground. And so, and it's not going exactly how it was where we planned it to go. And so, like, I'm here now. I didn't think I would be at a child care center in the middle of the day. But, and so I will say that it gets hard sometimes, especially when you're doing something new, especially when you're adding on a new thing. But most of the time, I feel like I have my rhythm, and I understand that self care is very important, and like I have like a strong just relationship with my I have really good friends and sisters. So in the morning I have my routine, where I do a Bible study 5 days a week in the morning, and then I pour into me first so that I can pour into other people because I realize by the end of the day I have nothing to give.
Hmm.
And so I have morning routines that I believe will really help. I need to get better at nightly routines because I stay up too late. Um, and then I also just do things that I love. Like I love puzzling, I love watching movies, I love traveling. And so I really do that, get massages. And so I'm clear about, you know, I've
It goes
had to
back,
really figure me out.
sure, and it goes back to the you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of others, right?
That's right. That's right.
You
Yeah.
talk about youth reaching back to help others.
Hmm.
That's the definition of generational wealth. So,
Hmm.
what does that actually look like when you see it working in the real world?
Yes, it's so good. I'm glad you asked me back. So I use the childcare again as an example because I'm here and I have three young moms who were in my housing program that works here at the childcare. So they work here at the childcare, they're giving back, they're serving, and that's what it looks like. It's like at one point they were participants of the program, and now they're on staff and they're helping other young moms and babies in their different capacities. And so that's exactly what it looks like. It's like if someone helps you and give you a roadmap, then you turn around and you help somebody else. Like it's not to keep it to yourself. I believe that the things that we go through is because of the purpose and the calling on our life. And so I think when we overcome it and we make it through, it's our responsibility to turn around, reach out, and help somebody else. Excuse me. And so, yeah, so that's what it is. And I talk to the families we serve about it all the time and welcome them back, and I give them the opportunity to come back because I think a lot of times people want to help other people, but no one gives them the opportunity. I believe that lived experience is just as important as a college degree,
Hmm.
and in some areas is more valuable. And so we are intentional about providing opportunities to families that we once served.
Got it. So, for the young leader listening who might be intimidated by the system in front of them, what is the one piece of advice you wish someone had given you on day one?
Don't take it personal and I'll give another one, and I think you should become an expert.
And what maybe would be the first step for them to become an expert?
I think just study your craft. Like I think it's whatever it is. If you want to know about housing, then study it. Right now, I feel like I'm giving myself a crash course in early childhood education. Like whatever it is that you want to do, study it. Study it not just when you're at work, but in your downtime. Pour into it when it comes to books. I'm always listening to audibles because I'm always on the move, whatever it is, YouTube videos, finding people who are doing what you want to do and ask them, can I have a couple minutes of time? Can I buy you a coffee?
Mm.
You know?
What is the one thing you've learned in taking on childcare as part of what you offer in everything you offer that you may have not expected or were surprised by?
I did children's ministry in Texas for like 10 years, and I had walked away from it like 5 years ago. And so I never thought I would be back. I thought I retired from it. And so it's funny to me. I laugh to be back in it. And so I think that it shocks me the most because I knew we were opening. I didn't expect myself to be having to do so much direct service. And so it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot of licensing, a lot of rules, um, and you can't pay them enough. That we don't get paid enough to take care of the least of these, the kids who need it the most. And so that's what I've learned, that it's a hats off to people who have did this for 20 years, 10 years, even 1 year. Especially in right now with everything that's going on, with all the cuts to fundings and all the regulations. And I was 2 months in and I had OIG here and I'm signed in Tennessee and they're making copies. I'm like, hey, I just opened.
Mm.
And so it's a lot. It's a lot. But at the end of the day, when I'm looking at these kids' faces
Mm.
and when I'm watching them learn or watching them just be safe and watching them or just be free, is worth it. And so, so it makes me, they're my motivation
Mm.
to keep moving on and to keep trying to figure it out and to figure out how to find partners who are experts
And those kiddos will be so much better for it.
for sure. That's the plan.
I love it.
Yeah.
Last question as we wrap up forward, to take the community from where we are today to where we need to be. What
Mm.
is the one bold move we need to make to truly move forward?
You have really good questions. So just one. I think we have to deal with the quality of housing, affordable housing in our community. For us to really, that's a basic need. And if people, for people to do anything, you got to have your basic needs, right? Food and housing and clothing. And so I think that we have a issue here with old housing stock in our
Mm.
community. All the new stuff that's beautiful that's being built is not affordable. And we have to deal with this issue of renovating this old housing stock that we have and also building more affordable housing.
Any thoughts or hopes on how to get there?
I just think as a community, I think that people are doing the work. It's slowly but surely. Um, I think that we have to think more outside the box. I think we have to get more creative. I think we're really good at partnering, but maybe more partnerships and really just finding more affordable options for people. um, because it seems like when it comes to traditional funding sources from the federal, from the state, is being cut, and so we have to figure it out. And I really think just as a community, we have to look at housing differently. And I think that I know right now, I think like the city's looking at their zoning and some of their codes and policies, and hopefully going to relax some of that, and I believe that that would also help. We have lots, they're small lots. Let us build on them, donate them. I think it's going to be partnerships with the city, with the county, with the nonprofits, with the developer. But as a community, I think we need to get together. And I think we need to think outside the box.
Great insight there. Deanna, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
At Story North, we believe that the most important work in our region is often the hardest to explain. If you are leading an organization through that kind of complexity, where the mission is critical but the message is getting lost in all the noise, that's where we come in. We don't just capture the work, we help you construct the narrative that scales it. You can find the full show notes and the video version of this conversation at storynorthproductions.com. Until next time.